And good evening and welcome to Country Time with Quinn, where we'll be coming to a web TV station near you. Tonight's show, we have two very special guests, but before we start that you can catch any of these shows, or you can contact any of the people on drumlinmedia.com, or you can contact countrytimewithquinn@gmail.com. If you would like any of your artists or anyone, please contact the show and we will make further details in regard to getting your advertisements or artists on the show. Now, our two guests here tonight, two very special guests here anyway. We have Jerry Brady, who is a manager of the Orchard Lounge Bar here in Cavan, and he promotes bands into the Orchard here. And we have a very famous man here, people may not know, and who is well known in the music industry, is Jet Calders. And Jet, tell me a bit about, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now Jet, you've played with a number of bands over the years there. Maybe you could enlighten some of our audience out there, the bands that you actually played with and where, and going back the years, the fun and the crack that happened at those times and the start of it all.
Well, yeah, I started off, I started playing with the first band. The first big band would have been the Halos back in the 60s and early 70s. Played them for years. We toured Britain, Ireland, and anywhere else that were letting bands into.
That'd be Jerry Black in the Halos would have been at that time.
No.
That was before.
No, it would have been John Tay.
Right.
We had John Tay, Ian Corrigan, Tony Kenny. We had some great artists, like, you know, that sang with us, and Jerry Reynolds, the late Jerry Reynolds.
Yes, yes, brilliant.
And I was with them for, well, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 even. You lose track of time when you're travelling day and night. But I was into all kinds of music. I was a drummer and singer. Better drummer than a singer. But you get to know all the boys on the thing, like the late great Joe, and we were all great friends. We'd meet on the road at night, coming back and forward. There were like souls passing in the night. I remember one night coming through Athlone, and there used to be a river crossing in Athlone, and you had to wait when the gate would be closed. And there was this car, a big red, like a Ford, stuck in the middle of the road, and it was getting bright this time, and the gates were open. I said, I don't know what we're going to do here. So I got out of the van and he went on up, and there was the bow Larry, pointing him laying back, snoring his head off in the middle of the road. But anyway, I stayed with them for a lot of years, and I left to form my own band, Jet Calders and the Country Travellers. And I had a fellow called Paddy Nichol, the late Paddy Nichol, on saxophone, Mick Flavin on guitar and vocals, and a sister of mine, Tina, on vocals. And we done all the pub circuit, and clubs and weddings, wakes and whatever. There was a bit of music wanted. And we done well. We were together making A for nearly 17 years, you know, and then I retired from the whole thing.
Right.
I got fed up, just I didn't see my kids for years, you know. They didn't even know to call me daddy. I was only in the house to change, you know. I seen us one month, we done 48 dates in 1 month, Mick Flavin and myself.
Right.
You know, and Mick and me were like brothers, like, you know, we've always been like that.
Mick would have been maybe just starting out at the time there. You would have come across Mick, or was he playing the pub scenes or in the...
No, he was working with the council in Longford. He was a master craftsman, a brilliant tradesman. But I happened to throwing darts in Longford one night, and I was looking for members for a band. And I heard this guy singing Spancel Hill down in the corner of the pub, you see. And it was Mick and his father. His father was a Kerryman. Right. And I went down and asked him would he be interested in auditioning for a group. Well, he jumped at it, you know. And we, like I say, we went to America, England, we toured everywhere. We done New York a few times, and we were very, very popular. We won a good few awards. I remember Ray Lanham, we just he beat us in the band section. We got the best group.
Right.
You know, so. Yeah.
There were all the good times. Just before we say any more on that, we go over to Jerry here, and maybe Jerry would have actually had some of these bands and groups within your lounge area as well, Jerry.
Well, exactly, Seamus. I'm only just really I've only really started about this last 3 years, but on a Sunday evening, you know what I mean. I do it every Sunday between 8 o'clock. I actually got the idea from a pub in Monaghan, actually, and I just found that it was just, there was a niche in the market there that you know what I mean, and it's at a good time in the evening there, 8 o'clock, you know what I mean, and it suits people, you know what I mean. It's kind of a quieter time on a Sunday evening, you know what I mean. So 8 o'clock, obviously the show starts early, and the show is over early at 10 o'clock. It gives people a chance to obviously go to work on a Monday morning early, or go home early, you know what I mean, that you're not out late. And another thing that the groups absolutely love it themselves, because the morning, as Jed was saying about, I'm sure, as you were saying there, you know what I mean, I'm sure all the times that you were playing, you were probably only going on stage at 12 o'clock.
That's it, yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's...
That show you have out there, brilliant.
Yeah, it's an ideal time.
Well, with people like starting early on a Monday morning, they like to kind of get out early in the evening. Some people actually even go out there and they can eat enough and have a meal, go into the music in there, and they're home early as well on the Sunday night.
I've actually seen your good self there, Seamus. You've been a bit of a visitor there yourself.
No.
So,
I love the country music.
I know you do. So.
No, it's a brilliant venue, and it was an absolutely class idea, and it's worked very well and exceptionally well, and long may it last. Right. Well, I'll come back to that in a minute. Jed, I'm going to go back to you again now, and there's something that's kind of getting me. The Cavern in Liverpool. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, that's where I got my first love of music. I always had, when I was growing up, I used to annoy everyone tapping on the table with the fork and the knife. There was no plastic ones then. I don't know, I think they were metal, some kind of metal anyway. And then years.
Your drumming started.
We were living in Liverpool, and I just was mad. I got a bit of a set of drums, you know, put them together, and we playing around with different guys, talking around them, that like we said we'd form a group, call ourselves the Diplomats, and we thought we were going places, you know. And one of the guys looked like Buddy Holly, so we started to do Buddy Holly stuff. Now, I wouldn't like to let anyone hear us, but somebody heard, we got in anyway, we were allowed to practice in the Cavern. You know, because one of the guys, we were living in Lodge Lane, and Paul McCartney and these crowds, they all lived around that area, Croxteth Grove.
You were moving in big circles.
Yeah, and I didn't know these guys at all, like, and barely knew them in the Cavern, but they were there. They used to come on, we were used like for setting the sound, more or less, because we had nobody there when we'd be in it. We were only learning, practicing. Maybe 6 groups could be on, a half an hour and a half an hour off, and change them around just the way they were doing it. And these Beatles, I remember, I have a photograph of sitting with, playing drums with John Lennon, right?
Very nice.
And it's hard to know the two of us, because we were young fellas at that time, you know. There was no moustache and there was a bit of hair. And the hair was down my back that time.
Right.
It fell off.
We'll have to see those photographs. We'll have to see
but
those
that's where I got my
photographs.
love of music, and came home, and then I got a love of country music and started recording country music on reel-to-reel tapes. I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get the EFN network on German, the American Forces Network in Germany, and record it on these reel-to-reel tapes.
Right.
And I had the best collection, I'd say, in the country. All the bands used to come to me for songs and listen to the tapes, and I'd re-record them for them, and they'd pick songs out of it. Flavin and myself, I'd say, were always the first with American country. Right. Always. That's why we were so popular. Flavin, Mick always had the latest in country before anyone had it, because I was recording them just as they were released.
Right, I see you had all the recordings. And just on that there, even going back to Jerry here, and maybe would there be any niche in the market where you could actually come up with a new band or anything like that could be launched here in Jerry's establishment here?
I was thinking of the golden oldies.
Some of the good old days. And
I'll have to hear the tape.
Yeah. A publican in the town said, if you started up, he says, I'll have you in once a week, every week, he says.
And the like of, say, young country bands there now, even with yourself, Jerry, I know you have very established bands and great bands there. Would there be anywhere niche in the market there now for young country bands coming up?
Well, there is, obviously. You see there on the main country scene, you see yourself there for the likes of young Derek Ryan, and then there's a young Johnny Brady there.
That's right.
So, like Robert Mazel, but then boys have been fairly well established. So, like, it really is coming back, as you know yourself, Seamus.
It is.
It's coming back big time popular. So, I tend to get the ones that's established because, funny, the crowd really, they know the names, and I feel that you have to put in the name band for this coming Sunday night of Chuck and June. You know what I mean?
Right.
Chuck, June, the Gamblers.
And they're well known now.
So they'll be well known now. Now, in saying that, you know what I mean, I do try to put in various new acts. I give them you know what I mean. I'll put them in one Sunday.
And would you be open now to even maybe going into a bigger venue there, which you have there at the back, maybe, and bringing in some of the more younger bands and things and see how it goes?
Well, possibly, you know what I mean. I just find at the moment, to tell you the truth, Seamus, that the lounge has the atmosphere, you know what I mean,
right.
And they can sit and then they can have a bit of a dance as well,
right.
And it's a nice atmosphere. Now, the function room is big, you know what I mean.
Yes,
it's a big dancing area. You know what I mean? So I had to use it there actually during the European Championships because the soccer was so good for me there. So I actually put the groups in the back, and I have to say I did get a good reaction.
And social dancing's coming back.
Social dancing is the big thing at the moment.
And you have a lot of the country bands and people that would have been on the scene in the social dancing. They're now back, or in the big band scenes now playing the social dancing around as well too. And it is taken. Well, people I would look at myself that would have been out in the younger days, boogieing and dancing and driving and waltzing all around the place, and now you find it's younger people that's coming into, like a Nathan Carter and Derek Ryan and Johnny Brady.
That's right.
They're all young people coming into that there. So now there's a market out there for the next age group of people that's kind of moved on to the next level.
Correct, that's right.
And it's just finding that level and opening up venues for those people as well.
Right, that's right, exactly.
And it'd be great to see it. It'd definitely be great to see that. And up and coming bands then, Jerry, over the next
over the next couple of weeks there, as I say, this Sunday on the 9th of September we have Chuck and June, and then we have the ever popular the following Sunday there, John Glenn the Wrangler. So John has been on the scene, has been as you know, for a long time, and sure more or less took over when Big Tom decided to take a bit of a break there for a while. So John stood in, but he's got his own band there, the Wranglers, you know what I mean. And then the following Sunday, which would actually be All Ireland Sunday, so we have a local group there from Coothill, or one of them is based in Coothill, John McIntyre. They're better known there as Grassroots.
That's right.
But they actually, Gloria, they do a bit of a guest spot with them. So as we know, Gloria was in the Irish charts for 52 weeks with them.
That's right. And John in his own right is after launching a CD there, and that went to charity as well too. So, and he is a fabulous musician in his own right as well too.
And an all-round good guy.
Absolutely,
I have to say, and the lads in the band are one to another, so they've been at it a long time, they know the scene, and like they would be one of the lads who would have came to me and said, Jerry, this is brilliant, this 8 o'clock thing to 10, 10 o'clock finish or whatever, you know what I mean?
So it's an early night for them.
It's an early night, like, they love playing, but the morning, as Jerry was saying, if you're far away from home, or coming off stage in the morning at 2 o'clock in the morning,
and most of them are working, these guys.
Yeah, that's right, you have a job maybe throughout the week or whatever, you know what I mean? Because to be fair, you can't, you know what I mean, the lounge, the Orchard is free in on a Sunday evening, and we don't charge in, you know what I mean? So it's a free night's entertainment, and even a supper at 10 o'clock, Seamus.
And absolutely, and people have a chance to talk then until closing time and chat amongst themselves,
That's right.
Oh yeah, well that's what it's all about, because people are socialising as well, because it's part of the scene out there to actually socialise and meet people and kind of get back out into the scene and not be stuck in the house, and people love that wee bit of a chat as well at the end of the night, and it's still an early night.
It's still an early night. See, dare I say it, and I'm not criticising any of my colleagues in the pub business, but what you were saying about the country and western music there, Seamus, do you see a lot of people, a lot of pubs or maybe a lot of entertainment venues really cater for that sort of they're chasing that 18 to 28 bracket, and dare I say 30 plus, 35 plus, you know what I mean? they felt that they were squeezed out a little bit there the last couple of years.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The big complaint over the years that I would have heard, especially with me being in the pub business, you know what I mean, if you were into a certain pub or a certain venue, you know, there'd be a very loud band.
That's
and they
right.
couldn't associate with them at all. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
Particularly for people, dare we say, we have to be careful now with this
I know,
older generation.
No, there is a group of people in there in their 20s and 30s there at the moment. They're very much into the country bands because they find they're out earlier now at the disco scene. They've now gone past that, and they're coming out earlier into the country scene as well.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that whole new era taking place.
And it's not as expensive.
Absolutely, that's right. And as you said,
That's a lot to do with it too.
social dancing.
Well, I know the border counties now, like, you know, with north and south, like, you know, Cavan, Monaghan, and you have Fermanagh and Tyrone and Armagh and all that, and it's a great you know, area there for country dance. And even as you move down the country as well, into Tipperary and all those areas down there, you have Donegal, younger people, like, you know, they just love it.
The country, younger people are becoming very country.
Very much, and I
the
was
country has become a more modern idiom, more modern beats and modern songs,
That's right.
modern stories.
Yeah.
Instead of all the older ones, like there was all doom and gloom.
That's right. Well,
It's
they have a whole
bit of
new
rockabilly and all this.
Because it's just a story of my own there. I would have been down in the Mellon Country in there in Omagh back there about 2 months ago when Nathan Carter was playing there. I was there about 10:30, and I thought there must have been a disco on because of that many young people knocking around. And the doors closed at 11:15. It was unbelievable, the young people that was there. And it wasn't a disco, it was Nathan Carter and his music. And you can do whatever you want to it, but there's the way it's going, and it's great to see it.
Absolutely.
And there's a niche in the market for everybody out there. Jen, come back there. You've retired, or have you really retired, or do you keep a finger in the pie there?
I'm working on a kind of a, it's not a karaoke, what you call it, it's it's country.
Excuse me, sorry, I should have turned that off. 1 second.
Sorry, unfortunately, folks, this turns out to live TV, and things do happen on it, and as you have found out there, it is live, it is not recorded, and it is not edited, so we take it as we go. No problem at all, no problem at all. Like, so people understand that we just don't record these things and edit them and send them out there. There it is as it's live. Then we go back to
that was George Jones on the phone to look for a book.
That's the origin of getting another book of Will Jerry. No problem at all.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Well, I was thinking I'm working on a kind of a karaoke thing. It's a country music kind of a dance, just CDs, playing requests in a pub, that type of thing, you know.
Right.
You could do it before or after weddings, or you could do it like before a group comes on, or after a group comes on.
That's what's happening at the moment, actually. You have these various disco groups coming in, and they will play country music and that up to the time the band comes on.
Yes.
It was like the old times then when you had Big Tom and the Mighty Evans and that there, and you had the pre-band that was on first. They played, they always got to run in, and next thing you had the bigger band coming on afterwards. So now it is reverted to this kind of it's not a disco, but it's a country disco session.
It's a country disco. Mick Flavin was saying I should be at it, and it's you see, since Scott Brooks and these guys made country modern, you know, and they put an image to it.
That's right.
Right.
And young people are associated with these. Like it's not just a guy standing there with a guitar. They're all action. They can put on a show now as good as any.
Absolutely.
Like the Three Amigos there, their show is a wonderful show.
Oh, there's no doubt of that.
Yeah.
And even getting back to Jerry's phone there, even when he's ringing down the bar, and people are saying, there's another free round for the bar.
Not so sure about that there.
Well, there'll be some people that try it on.
Absolutely, that's right.
The music scene, Jet, it was a fabulous time, that time you're home, because everybody was new and coming into it, and you can still reflect back on all the people that you met at that stage as well, too. And even any of the American artists there you'd have ever met along the way.
Oh yeah, Charlie Pride, Tom T. Hall, Waylon Jennings, Tommy Wynette, few people like that, like, but people just for a second, or a couple of seconds.
I know. But it is lovely to meet them, whether it's just in passing or shaking hands or saying hello to them. It is nice to say that you actually physically met them and not just seen them on a book or on TV. And they are fabulous singers, and it's great to see them coming in.
We backed a lot of them. We backed a lot of them, like in the early years, like Sim Whitman and all those, Charlie Pride, you know, and on stage. And you know, the way they'd come, they wouldn't have a backing band. They'd just come and they do their show, and it's just amazing.
It was a great start for people like yourselves there to be actually able to back all these big bands, because it was nice to say I was there and I played before them as well, and you are on stage, and it does propel you into where you went on later on in years, and all the bands that you would have played with and people have played with you as well. You found it was a great experience.
Yeah. I actually played a double gig with the Tremolos.
Oh my!
Washington Country one, you know. I still have 6 pairs of drumsticks belonging to the drummer. He gave them to me.
All right.
They were nail and tip sticks, and he had them, and you couldn't get them in this country. And he says, "There you Mike, take them." Because we're using my drums, you see.
Oh, that's very nice, and very nice to have. Very, very nice to have. Anyway, and you were saying there even Larry Cunningham as well too. Like you know, you were like ships passing in the night as
yeah. We knew them all. We knew the vans. Everyone knew everyone's van. You know, the bus that the band was travelling in.
And the atmosphere amongst like yourselves, as you met too, like there was always this good camaraderie, like, you know, amongst all the musicians then.
The Lampford Arms on the way back from the west, all the bands had stopped there. And there was a porter there, he gave him 10 shillings, and he had a stash. And he gave all the boys anyone wanted to drink, you know, or whoever wanted coffee or whatever, you know, and you could have maybe 8 or 9 bands there at 6 o'clock in the morning coming back from Galway, from Kerry.
And all would meet somewhere in that area. Because Longford was a fairly central area for a lot of bands passing through.
Yeah.
Whether it be north or south.
North, going up to Dublin, wherever they were coming from.
There's no other. And Jerry, you love that scene out there, and it generates an awful lot of different people in, and you're chatting to people and hearing stories.
I hear lovely stories. And exactly, bringing back great memories, and you know what I mean. Then plus, like you know what I mean. They really love the actual dancing at the Javin. That's which you wouldn't see in all. You know what I mean?
No.
Like if you went to most venues now, you know what I mean, on the pub scene, you wouldn't see anybody Javin.
It's nearly you're sitting down and you're just watching all.
Absolutely.
But at least then within the orchard there, you can participate there within that.
That's right. So that's, in fact, if anything, I'd really love a little bit more bigger dancing space in the lounge itself, because when the group set up, you know what I mean, they actually love the dance. They're dancing nearly right on top of the group, you know what I mean. And but like, I have to say it's going really well.
I remember Big Tom one time saying he was playing in a big marquee. He says, "I'd rather play in a big marquee, a small marquee, and have it packed, than in a big marquee and have it half packed."
All right, the glass half full. Well, anyway, on that note, anyway, and I know we could go on talking all night, and I'd just like to thank both of you very much for coming in here tonight and talking to us. And there's so many other stories we missed, but some other time again we will get you into studio. And Country Time with Quinn is not just all about just having music on the show, but it's talking about people that have a very much a heart of interest and that played with bands, and from the very start we've heard some lovely stories, and we'd love to go back again to Jet and even talk to Jerry as well, and how the thing is going even further down the road as well. And Jet I'm sure has so many more stories that we'd love to hear anyhow. But once again, thank you very much for coming here tonight, and we look forward to having you again. And for the people out there as well too, like, do go down to the Orchard. It is a brilliant place. There is a great band there, Chuck and June, they're playing there this Sunday night as well, and we certainly will be there as well. And we look forward to meeting Jerry and the crew and all the bands down there, and even over the coming months as well too. Again, now we will go on now to this week's gig guide here, and we'll start off. Mick Flavin, and Mick is on tour at the moment on his UK tour. He'll be back in Ireland next weekend, and we're hoping to have Mick here maybe in the studio as well. The next on the scene there is Declan Ernie, and Declan is the 7th of September in the Abbey Inn in Roscommon. And he's also playing in the Abbey in Knockmoy there in Galway on Saturday the 8th of September in the Glen Eagle Hotel in Killarney, and Sunday the 9th of September in the Adair Manor in County Limerick. You have Jimmy Buckley on Friday the 7th of September, and he is playing in the Well in Moat, and Sunday the 8th or the 9th of September there in the Glen Eagle in Killarney. Now I just haven't got on, and I have to revert back to my pages as well. Unfortunately, put the glasses on here anyway. And we've Mike Denver Tours here the 7th of September in the Glen Eagle in Killarney, Sunday the 9th of September there in the Four Seasons in Monaghan, and Saturday the 8th the Dew Point Club there in Derry. Johnny Brady, a newcomer on the scene, an absolutely brilliant singer, and Friday the 7th of September he's in the Glencairn Hotel in Castleblaney. That's tonight. Johnny Brady. The 8th of September there, the Ryan Dale Moy in County Tyrone, and he has some special guests there, and they're the Ben sisters there tonight. So anybody out there, get down there to the Moy in Tyrone and enjoy that. Sunday the 9th there, the Landmark Hotel in Carrick-on-Shannon, and Monday the 10th there in the Bushin Hotel in Coleraine in Derry. That's Johnny Brady. We have Cavan gigs there, the Lavy in there, Saturday the 8th there, we have John Glenn and his band there. We have the Harbour in Beltorwood, 8th of September, Frank Nelson, and Sunday the 9th there, you have Family Affair. The Hideout in Ballybor is Saturday the 8th of September, you have John McIntyre and Brass Roots. The Cross Lounge in Stradone there, on the 8th of September is Saturday, Eamon Mulvaney and the Midnight Cowboy, and the Orchard Lounge there in Cavan there, Sunday night there we have Chuck and June. And Chuck and June there, and the bell was ringing for them there a moment ago with Jerry. The Belmont Arms there in Goodhill, we have Monday the 10th of September, Brass Roots. That is all from the gig guide here in Cavan tonight here. And check the papers and your local media for further details there. Thank you very much there. And the Anglo-Celt also carries all these there as well, so do check all your local papers, and whether it be in Cavan or Monaghan, the Anglo-Celt or the Northern Standard, do tell. And thank you very much there to our guests and to all you out there for tuning in. Do come back to us next week, and thank you again very much there. It's been a different night and a very enjoyable night here from Country Town in Quinn. Bye bye. Cheers.